CI/CD pipeline, right? Automation is possible using CI/CD concepts by building a pipeline, right? You have to build a pipeline. That's it. So building pipeline is just one architecture level task. Once you do that building pipeline, rest all is automatic. You will just click one button or you will just upload the code into GitHub. From there on, it's automation. Everything will be automatic. But that how it is automatic, which all steps it has to go through, that we have to decide it, right? We have to decide. It means we have to build a pipeline. We have to tell, after this step please do this task, after this task please go to the next step. That and all we have to define it, right? So we have to build pipelines, right? So we will try to understand. See, CI/CD and CI/CD pipeline are different. They are not same, right? CI/CD is a concept. It tells us how to work, but CI/CD pipeline is the actual process, right? So CI/CD, this is a way of working where developers can make many code changes and deliver updates quickly. CI/CD pipeline is the actual step-by-step process that takes the code, automatically moves it from development to the live production. So CI/CD is just a concept. Okay, building a pipeline is, if you don't build a CI/CD pipeline, automation cannot happen. You cannot deploy the code automatically. You cannot build automatically. We have to design, we have to structure a pipeline. Only then everything will flow automatically, right? So in simple words, CI/CD pipeline is a series of automatic steps. This is just a concept. It tells what is the way of doing it, whereas CI/CD pipeline is the actual implementation of that, right? So CI/CD pipeline is a series of automatic steps that helps developers build, test and deliver code safely. Okay, so let's understand the pipeline. So if you see here, the build pipeline and the release pipeline. Okay, this is the CI part and this is the CD part, right? So what all steps happens in the CI/CD? Okay, so developers exist, they will be writing the code, then we have version control, then compile, then again compile, auto unit testing and then auto UI testing. Okay, then package with instructions, then we do all these manual automated tasks of releasing, testing and making it available. Okay, so let us understand this pipeline, right? We have to manually specify this pipeline. We have to define it. We have to tell how to do the task automatically, right? So here we are having two pipelines. One is the build pipeline, the other is the release pipeline. If you clearly observe it, we can see there are two pipelines. This is the build pipeline and the other one is the release pipeline. So releasing basically the second half of that, right? So the build pipeline, here this part ensures that the code is correct and ready. Okay, developers will write the code, then I will use some version control software, right? Means I will be pushing the code to the GitHub. Okay, I will be merging the feature branches to the main branch, right? All that task will be done in the version control, right? Then we will compile or build, right? The code is converted to the executable format. The code which I have written is converted to the executable format. For example, for Java we have .jar, right? The code is converted from Java to .jar. This is a manual task. Generally in Java, if you want to do that, it's a manual task. You have to write some command, but here is automatically build. That comes in the compile, right? So compile, I will do it. Then auto unit testing. Okay, small parts of the code are automatically tested. Some basic test we do it here in the unit testing, right? Does something like validating the username password, right? Checking whether the timer is working properly in the application or not. Some simple testing we will be doing in the this phase, auto unit testing. It means code is being tested here, right? Then auto UI testing. What is auto UI testing? Here we will check the complete application. We will check the complete application. We will check the behavior of the full application. Whether after I log in, whether the dashboard is visible properly or not. Let's say I have built some exam portal. Once I log in into that, can I see the question numbers or not? Whether the dashboard is working properly or not. That will be tested here automatically, right? Then package with instructions. Okay, so final application is packaged here. Once all these things are done, the build pipeline is successfully done, then we will package with instructions, we will build a package. We will be building a package, something like Docker image, which is readily available for deployment, right? Readily available for deployment. Okay, so here CI completes. By this step, the CI phase completes, continuous integration completes. Then comes the continuous delivery part, the release pipeline, right? The app is deployed to staging environment. The app is deployed to staging environment from that, right? In staging, what we do? We will do additional testing. We will do some more testing here in the staging. Some kind of testing like integration testing, performance testing, security testing, some additional tests which are, see here we are doing code level test. Whether the code which you have written is properly working or not. Okay, here we will be testing about performance, security, load, all those additional tests which are for the complete application, not for the small change what you have done, but we will test it for the complete application, right? Then public general availability means you have released it for the common people to use, for the users, right? So this is about CI CD. In CI, again remember this, in CI part, what we check here, is the code correct? Is the code correct? This I will be verifying. Whatever I have made the changes, is it perfectly is perfectly working or not? That I will be verifying in CI. Whereas in CD, is the app, is the change whatever I made, is it readily available for the users to use or not? Can the users use it now? Is it that readily available? That will be checking in the CD part, right? So this is about the CI CD. Again I repeat, CI ensures code quality, whereas CD ensures the delivery to the users. The code whatever you have written, the quality of the code is verified here. Whereas here we are focusing more on the delivery part, delivery to the users, right? So this is a generic flow of CI/CD pipeline, right? So I think you should get some idea here how the CI/CD is working, right? So the components of CI/CD pipeline, what are the different components, right? So if you see, commit change, I will just simply read them. Commit change, trigger the build, then actual build, notify of the build outcome, run the test, notify of the test outcome, deliver build to the staging, and then deliver it to the production. So there are different components. In each component we do some task. In detail, let's understand about each of these components, right? The first one is the commit change. Right, we know that something is happening in each level, right? So what's happening in the commit change? Okay, so it's very simple. Developer writes the code and that is pushed to the GitHub. Okay, in commit change, developer make the code changes and commit these changes to a version control system like Git. This step initiates the CI/CD pipeline. Once you are doing a commit, from there on CI/CD pipeline begins. Committing code changes ensures that they are tracked and versioned properly. Okay. Then the trigger build. The second component is the trigger build. Means automatically when you are pushing the code to some version control system, right, there are some triggers which are running on the, I think you understand trigger concept in SQL database. Once I insert a record in the table, in the SQL table I insert a record with a status n. Whenever there is n inserted in the status column, a trigger is executed, right? So the same way, whenever the version control system detects a new commit, it triggers the build process automatically. automatically does it. Okay, automated triggering of the build process ensures that the new changes are integrated and tested. Right. Then the third one is build. The third component is build. It means converting the code into executable or runnable format. Okay, like for example, in Java we do it to jar. Right, converting the code is completely in build, we are actually compiling the complete code and all the dependencies are installed and we convert the code into a working application. That is happening in the build. The code base is compiled and built into a deployable artifact such as binary executable or Docker image. We may use some tools, these tools we may use it. Right? If there are some conflicts, they are resolved. If the build has failed, the developer will be notified and he will be making the changes. Then the notify of the build outcome. Right? The CI/CD system notifies the team of the build results, whether it has passed or failed. Okay, immediate feedback on the build status helps developers quickly identify and resolve any build issues. Right? So notification system include emails, chat integrations like Slack or Microsoft Teams. I think most of the people use Slack in industry. Okay, and dashboard in tools like Jenkins. So Jenkins does not request any other tool. Jenkins will automatically, it's a nice UI, a dashboard it has, it will automatically show all the messages clearly. Then run the test. Some automated tests are executed on that built artifact. Something like unit testing, integration testing and end-to-end testing is done. So we use some testing frameworks like Selenium, JUnit. I think you might have heard about JUnit and Selenium, very popularly used tools, Selenium and JUnit. Okay, basically Selenium is an automated testing tool. Selenium, you should learn that Selenium. Please include it in your resume also. You study about Selenium. It's very simple. If you are having software testing course, you might learn about that, or if not, it's very easy to learn. Maybe hardly 15-20 minutes time will take for you to learn Selenium, install it in your laptop, do some testing and include that in your resume. Right? So JUnit and Selenium. Running tests ensure that the new code does not introduce any bugs or regressions. Right? Because you made some new change in that, it should not bring, it should not affect the existing code. That's what we do, some basic test, some beginning level test we do it here. Right? Then notify the test outcome. Again, if the testing is properly done, that also should be updated to the developer. Right? So results of the test suite are reported back to the development team. This quick feedback on testing outcome allows developers to address. If there is some failure in testing, they will immediately fix it. Okay? Then deliver build to staging. Now, if you are deploying the code in the staging environment for further testing, then in that case you will be moving that to the staging environment. Obviously, before moving to production, definitely we have to move that to the staging. That is a mandatory step. Even in Git we have seen, right? Even in Git we have understood that from my working directory I am sending to the staging area, from there I am sending to local repository and then remote repository. So staging is mandatory. It's an intermediate level or area. Before moving it to the local repository or the final repository, we are keeping the code in the staging area. The same approach is followed here. Right? Deliver build, that build which you have done, which you have actually you built it, right, that you have converted it or you have generated it, that is moved to the staging. If the testing passes properly, the build artifact, the jar file, the archive file, right, .var, .war, .jar, all those files are deployed to a staging environment. Staging environment is something like testing environment, or it could be called as a pre-production environment. Before taking to the actual production, it is like a pre-production. Okay, or sometimes we call it as a UAT environment. Some companies follow this strategy, they call it as UAT environment, user acceptance testing environment. That's also a staging environment. Right? The staging environment simulates the production environment. It is same as production. allowing for final validation one time before the production deployment. Before making the application live, staging is a blueprint of the production. Okay. Deployment tools like Ansible, Chef, Puppet, Kubernetes or cloud specific tools like AWS Code Deploy are used. Okay. We use these tools for deploying, right. Then the final one is deploy to production. Deploy to production, what is this, right? Once everything is done, even in staging you have tested it properly, then after successful validation in staging, the build is automatically or manually promoted to the production environment, right. So this step will make the new features and fixes available to the end users, right. So here we use this one strategy called as blue green deployment or canary releases or rolling updates, right. Blue green deployment is a very interesting concept. Okay, it is one of the most popular deployment strategies. What is this blue green deployment, right? What we do here in this phase, right, we have two things, one is blue, the other is green. Blue is the current live system, green is the new version. What is this blue green development? Let me talk about the blue green here. Blue and green, this is the existing one. In blue we are talking about the existing system, here the updated system, because you made some changes, right? To the existing system we made some changes. So we are having 2 points here, we are having 2 environments, one is blue, the current system, green means the updated one, right. So we are switching it from blue to the green, we are switching it from the blue to the green, right. So blue green deployment basically means you have to do it one by one. Okay, we are not replacing the entire system, we are, see, when you are deploying, you are not completely removing blue and putting green there, you are doing it as a step by step process. It is one approach of deploying the application, right. So with this what will happen, the users will not face any change or any interruption. Okay, with the blue green deployment it happens very step by step, the current website will be running as it is. Okay, you will be deploying the new version parallelly in that, right. Just within seconds you will route the traffic from the blue version to the green, right. So this is one strategy of deployment, blue green. What we do here, this is the existing system, this is the updated one, you don't simply replace it here, you will do step by step. This will be live, blue will be working, this will be live working. Slowly you will deploy the green version. Okay, you will bring it to the live, this one, then you will simply switch the traffic from blue to the green, and then you will delete the blue part. We are not, this is only for saving some more request. See, if I stop green, if I stop the blue, there are some 1000 requests pending, and you have stopped the existing application, you have started the new one, this will take time, this deployment will take time. By the time this 1000 were waiting, they became 10,000 now. Once you start the green, all these 10,000 are answered by the green version. To avoid this delay for these people, right, we are allowing blue to work, we are also deploying green. Then at a particular point of time, we will quickly divert the traffic to the green. So all that went to the blue will be executed there, then the request will be routed to the green one. So that by that case, no, only some 500 requests might get impacted, that's it. So even for that small saving, we are using this concept of blue green. Okay, so we may use either blue green strategy for deployment, or we may rolling updates to minimize downtime and risk. Okay, so these are few important components of a CI/CD pipeline. Basically, we understood the pipeline, how it is happening, and at each phase what we are trying to do it, right? So this is about CI/CD pipeline. CI/CD as well as CI/CD pipeline and CI/CD concept, both are different. Concept tells how to do, pipeline is actual process where the automation happens. Okay.